And in this contest, we're going live to Ecuador with our special envoy, Jorge Gestoso, to have all the details as Ecuador gears up for this presidential runoff. Hello, Jorge. Welcome to From the South. What can you tell us from Ecuador?
Well, we are about less than 20 hours away from the beginning of the runoff, and the president, Daniel Noboa, has decreed the state of exception in 7 provinces out of the 24 of this country. That means that gives the armed forces the authority to be running on the streets. There is also involved a curfew starting at 10 p.m. On the other hand, yesterday, President Noboa has agreed to remove the security guards of the candidate, her rival, Luisa Gonzalez, and replace for another team of the armed forces, something that has been observed as a real mean decision, because the only interpretation that it had, even from the presidential candidate Luisa Gonzalez, is trying to destabilize her point of view and her family and herself, meaning that she is not secure because she has received many death threats. And on the other hand, now the big question mark is what is going to happen with the undecided, with the votes that has been voted in blank the first round. Different areas says different results, and according to the National Electoral Council, around 9 p.m. is expected, emphasis in expected, to have an irreversible trend of the results. And so what we know is that out of the 4 exit poll companies that they were ready and approved to run exit polls, only 2 of them are going to do it. They are going to have to present their results before 5 p.m. That is a moment that the polls close, but they are going to present it to the National Electoral Council, and then the National Electoral Council will decide when they're going to release it. So there's a lot of expectations, and most definitely we have never seen that level of disparities on the viewpoints of the people. There's a lot of tension, but in the streets of Quito, things are looking pretty quiet. This is the second day of what they call the electoral silence. People cannot do electoral campaigns, they cannot pass ads, but what the president candidate Noboa is doing is running on TV. They're not commercials, but they say that they are achievements, because it has creative, the way they presented achievements from the armed forces, the police, the National Electoral Council. That is a way to try to show that his government and himself is efficient. So we're following all that, and we're going to share it with you throughout the day. We get back to you now.
Gestoso, one question before finishing this report. What can you tell us on how the people are perceiving this recent declaration of emergency, this state of emergency created in Ecuador? We know that this election is taking place amidst a severe insecurity crisis. How could this impact the electoral day tomorrow?
Depends on whom you just ask a question. For many people say that Ecuador has been living almost in a permanent basis on a state of exception, so there's no surprise for most of them. There's another part of the population that sees that as a trick of the president candidate Daniel Noboa, that is trying to dissuade, in a way, people to leave their homes and go to the polls, creating the perception that the streets are more dangerous than usual, and therefore that could eventually work on his favor. That is his expectation. So depending on whom you talk is the answer that you get.
Thank you, Gestoso, for this report. We're going to stay in touch for upcoming news brief to continue having everything as Ecuador gears up for this presidential runoff. Thank you for being with us at these early hours.